I had a concert, played Good Feeling, Wild Ones, felt like 2012 all over again. Stephanie was out there to introduce him, which seemed kind of odd given the angle they did with her earlier in the show, but it would all make sense when this concert was over. What followed, I think, may have been the best angle of 2014 so far, and it involved Stephanie McMahon and Brie Bella. Who the hell would have thunk it? But they did a deal where there was a little commotion next to the announcers. What I love most about this, even more than the angle itself, which got over huge and the place went nuts for it, I thought, because I got to be fair here, I said earlier the production team has had a lot of fuck-ups recently with bad camera angles, and one thing I didn't mention also that they've been doing, and they did it a lot when Danie Bryan was in matches, is they would miss the flying knee, they would miss finishes. So for all the fuck-ups recently with the production team, I have to give them props here because I thought the way this was shot was genius. They were showing the announcers, and off to the side there was a little commotion where Stephanie all of a sudden was cornered by these two, detectives, I guess, and they weren't mic'd. It would be very fake. Oh, they're wearing microphones and the whole building can hear them. They weren't mic'd at all, so the people in the building could see what was going on the Titantron, but they couldn't hear what was going on. The only thing we could hear is when the camera got up close, we could kind of hear what they were saying, and we could hear Stephanie's reaction, and she started freaking out. There was a big dude in a suit, I guess probably one of her bodyguards, security detail, who was there trying to, keep her calm. And basically, Brie Bella showed up, and it became clear that Brie had called the cops because Stephanie, when she slapped Brie, she slapped the fan. Brie is no longer under contract, right? She got fired. She bought a ticket. She was in the front row. She got slapped in the face by Stephanie McMahon. You can't go around slapping a fan. That's battery. So they arrested her. And people were going nuts. And Stephanie is just freaking out. Stephanie's reaction, she was awesome here. And so they bring her backstage, and finally Triple H decides to show up. Oh, what's going on here? I don't know where he was before all this. And they put Stephanie in the cop car, and Triple H is mocking the cops. Oh, you're driving a hybrid, living the life here. And he tells Stephanie, don't worry, I'm going to make a phone call to Jerry McDevitt, lead WWE attorney. Going to get you out of there in 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. The car drives off, and they had another segment after this where Hunter's packing a bag. He's ready to bolt and go bail his wife out, and Joey Mercury, the unnamed bald agent that they never identified, he reminds Triple H, he says, Hunter, I hate to bring this up right now. I know the timing isn't right, but you did promise that by the end of the night you were going to announce the number one contender for the championship. So what's the deal? And Triple H says, Joey, this is family we're talking about here. Got to put family first. But then he has second thoughts, and Triple H is thinking it over. He goes, well, they do have to process her and book her, and that's going to take some time, and then by the time the lawyers get down there, it's probably going to be a long process. So I could stick around for a little while longer, announce the number one contender, have the car already running, ready to go, and I'll just hop in the car and I'll be on my way. And people were laughing in the crowd. I thought Triple H, Stephanie, everybody involved here was awesome. This was great. This was a great angle. It's also funny because at the end of the night, I think they announced it on WWE.com that Stephanie finally got bailed out at like 4 a.m. or she was let go or whatever at 4 a.m. But Triple H, I think they said, didn't get to the jail until like 1 a.m., which begs the question, especially if he supposedly had the car running at the end of the show. Where the hell was Triple H? Why did it take him 2 hours to get to the jail? I would imagine that Stephanie on TV this week will be none too happy with her husband. But this was awesome. This was one of those angles that just clicked. It worked. And I am looking forward to a Stephanie Brie Bella match at SummerSlam. And I think that match is going to have incredible heat. Maybe more heat than almost any other match on the show except the main event. And, they've gotten me interested in that match. It may not be a good match. Stephanie, I don't think, has actually had a match. I'm going to say, it may have been, would it have been the match with Vince in 2003? Has it been that long? Over a decade? I remember her and Vince had a very weird, very uncomfortable No Mercy match on pay-per-view. It was actually right before Stephanie and Triple H got married. And I remember Triple H telling the story about how they were trying to make sure that Stephanie didn't get hurt and didn't get a black eye or anything before they had to take wedding photos. But Vince just beat the crap out of his daughter in this match and was choking her out with like a lead pipe. It was very, very bizarre. I can't remember Stephanie having a match since then. So it may have been. It may have been the first match now when they do it at SummerSlam that Stephanie has since she got married and had kids. I guess if I'm wrong, somebody will point it out to me. But the fact that she hasn't wrestled in so long, it almost makes it more of a novelty. So I'm looking forward to it.